Welcome back to ShoreTel System Administration, ShoreTel 8. This video section will deal with Telnet and passwords. To Telnet to a ShoreTel switch, if you use the typical DOS level Telnet command, it will appear that you're able to telnet to a ShoreTel switch, but you will never gain access to the switch. ShoreTel has a security shell that needs to be run before you can access the switch. And let me show you how that's done. Basically, on the server, you have to be on the server because the program you need is on the server. So we are on the headquarters server here. I'm going to bring up a command prompt and show you where this guy lives. First thing I'm going to do is change to the root directory because this guy's buried pretty deep. The program is called IPBXCTL, and you will find him. First we have to change to the programs subdirectory, and then change to Shore. Notice it's Shoreline Communications. The company's old name used to be Shoreline, and it hasn't changed in the software, certainly not in this section. And then we need to change to Shoreware Server. Voila. So you can see that's pretty deep. So you'll either need to put the IPBXCTL exe file in the root of the C, copy it out of here into the root, or set up a path, especially if you plan to be using it a lot. And you will use it to telnet into a switch, to change IP addresses, change gateways, change network parameters, change boot parameters. To do debug and trace, you'll need to telnet into the switch, so you'll need to learn where this puppy lives. So let me log into Shoreware Director here. Again, we have not yet set up an administrator, so it's admin change me. Spelling counts. And I want to show you two areas here that you need to pay attention to. First, in Shoreware 8, you now go to System Parameters, and you will find a section called Other. In here, you have the ability to change the password for the admin and for the root, which is what will be required when you telnet into the switch. In previous releases of ShoreTel, you didn't have this option. And I guess after 7 releases, everybody on the planet has learned that the default password was ShoreTel, capital S H-O-R-E, capital T-E-L. And so ShoreTel has now given you the option to change that for further security to keep people from telnetting into your switches. So again, you'll find this in System Parameters, and it's under Other, and there you will find where we can set the password. So I've gone ahead and set that password. Let's go to Quick Look here and find the IP address of the 40 by 8 switch that we want to telnet into. So it's 12.251. Okay, cool. So we go back here to the DOS window, and at this point we type IPBXCTL minus telnet on 192.168.12.251. and will be prompted at this time for a password. Now, in previous releases of ShoreTel, before ShoreTel 8, you will not see this prompt. It will just say telnet access enabled. So I've entered the password that I set in System Parameters Other, and now telnet access is in fact enabled. So we can now telnet to that switch. Telnet 192.168.12.251, and voila, we're asked to log in to VMworks. This is the traditional ShoreTel anonymous, and the password ShoreTel. At this point, we get a system prompt, and boot change is the command we're looking for here. And at this point, we get an opportunity to change each of the sections that are stored in flash on this switch. The boot device is flash, the host name, the file name. Okay, where does this particular switch live? And this is where you would go if you were going to change the IP address. Notice the IP address for this switch is 192.168.12, followed by a subnet mask FFFFF00. So that's 255.255.255.0 in hex. I'm going to leave the IP address. I just wanted to show you where it was. It will also have the address of the mothership. In this case, this is where the ShoreTel server is. And the gateway, good place to look and double check if we're having some trouble communicating between the switch, if it's on a different subnet than the headquarters switch or the DVM that manages it. Check this place out first. These are listed in the maintenance manual, and in the advanced section we'll go over that in greater detail. By default, the flag here is set to 0x40, which means DHCP. Here 0/0 means boot from flash. So at this point, we've pretty much explored the workings of this switch, and you want to exit out of here by rebooting the switch. And that pretty much sums up how you access a ShoreTel switch, how you first run the IPBX-CTL command. And as I indicated before, I recommend that you copy that out of that very deep subdirectory, copy it to the root. It'll make it easier for you to get at, or at least build a path at the DOS level so you can run it very easily going forward. So that's it for ShoreTel System Administration Telnet.